welcome to the 2025 football season. I've seen a lot of familiar faces, so welcome back our existing players and parents, but also a lot of new faces. So for those new, welcome to our club. For those who don't know me, my name is Gianni, the president of Eastern Suburbs Football Club. Big thank you first and foremost to Churchy, Con and his team for allowing us to use such a great facility. Their support for our club over numerous years, more so with field maintenance, clubhouse maintenance, is a great support. So thanks to Con and his team here tonight. Some quick formalities: bathrooms to the rear of the room, outside, other side of the glass. Left, I think it's the females, right for the males. In an emergency, the emergency evacuation point will be to your right, outside these doors, past the chapel. Follow the guy in the fluoro orange, you won't miss it. Tonight's player and parent induction will be presented by both our General Manager Lachlan Leong and Football Director Reda Al-Rakabi. We'll give you guys, both parents and players, an insight into the Academy football program for this season 2025. Before I hand over to the team, we'll have a bit of fun. Actually, before we do that, before the fun starts, I should have known these slides progressively. A big thank you to our sponsors for this year. If it wasn't for these individuals, most of them are up on the board on the screen at the moment. A club like ours and the way we want to progress and develop as a club will not happen. So a lot of the sponsors are in this room tonight, so a sincere thank you to your support financially, first and foremost. There is a lot of available asset space around the club. Some of the kits will still have available spaces, so if you're interested, we'd love to hear from you. Okay, so a bit of fun before we start the formalities. So this year we have partnered with Ultra Football, who will be our merchandise provider for our on and off field kit. So this year we have Adidas as our merch. So we prepared some of the players who will present some of our kits. So first we have our training kit. Billy, if you want to come through and show the team. So our training kit will be an untraditional blue and gold with sponsors to the rear. So this kit, I'm not sure if the boys will touch on this, but this kit from top to toe will be blue. So blue socks will be provided as part of the kit. Grip socks can be purchased, are required in the same colour and can be purchased through the club and later this evening. Thanks, Billy. All right, the exciting part, our home kit. We have Luke and Emily. Come on through. So this is actually the senior men's and women's kit. So, little 12, if you've done that. That's it. All right, thanks, guys. Our away kit, we have India and Eli. So a bit of change from last year in the black, with the white top, with the 12. So the home kit has the orange socks, the away kit has the white socks. And someone that looks similar to me in the fluoro, we have our goalkeepers, Izzy and Ashton, who aren't goalkeepers, by the way. All right, so that is our on-field kit. I'm wearing your formal polo. We've got some of the coaches here in their coaches kit. Enrique, the boys from his plus here, and some of the polos that we're wearing here with Lock and Red. I'll release those in the next week or so, so a little bit of patience. They're coming in dribs and drabs, so we'll get them to you hopefully in the next week or two. Okay, thanks guys for that. We'll hand it over to Vera. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. Welcome everyone. If you don't know me, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Reda Rikabi. So I've been here for almost 10 years in Australia. I've been coaching almost every age group. It's a proud moment for me to be leading Eastern Suburbs Football Club and as a first team head coach and football director as well. It's a proud moment, and this year is also we're looking forward to create something different, something special with the people that we have here at the club. So there are values I believe in and that drives me every day, and it's helping young people, giving people opportunities, especially talented players, and help them to move on to the next level and professional environment when they can produce something for the country. Also for Eastern Suburbs Football Club, and it's a main priority. I think what we built in the last year with the first team coming back to the NPL, which is great, and now we're trying to implement that as well with along the entire club. So our ethos here, we work with passion. I'm very passionate about the game. The people here, they're very passionate about the game. I think we brought the right people into the club. We work with energy every day. That it goes into training sessions, that goes into the games. The professionalism, that doesn't mean only the setup or everything, but every detail about the training, what we do in training, what's the details of a training. It's all in there. We work hard, we train to develop the players, and we play to win. I think you got the two goals there for a reason, is to win, but before that is how you win. So we have an idea how to play this game and how we develop this idea to every age group, and from there we can build on to create the right environment. Our mission, as you see here, we have this picture is a clear picture of last year's grand final. Is Laurie. He's junior, and he scored the final at Sarkop Stadium, and behind him is Bailey, also 16 years old, playing the final game in there, and for the first team. So we want to achieve greatness this year, and I think by holistically developing our players so they can reach their potential. We want to develop and retain our best talents. That's our goal. Every year we want to raise the retention list, and we have the same place at the club. We want to be the best academy, and it does require a lot of hard work. It's not easy, but we're going to work hard. We're going to have the process, and we're going to trust the process, and we believe in it. And with the people we have here, and fantastic coaches and fantastic technical team, I think we can go to the next stage. We have to create a pathway. I think the reason we're here is the people there talents everywhere, but it's how we take care of these talents and what we give them. So if you have the right details about the training, about the game, about individual plans, for the players from the younger age groups to the older ones, I think that's when we progress and you create that pathway. So we have to think about the player, not just as a way of playing, but also how we help the player outside the game to when they come to us here, they are ready, they are motivated, they want to do it for the club, they want to do it for East. I believe in training. The development is all about training. We do everything in training. You develop the players in training. You're trying to create highly skilled, intelligent football players with that winning mentality. They go there and they have the feeling they're going to go and win the game, but also they're willing to train and develop as a player. So everything starts from the training field with the coaches. So you work with the coaches, to work with the players, and that's when you go to the training and games and you're ready. We believe in education. I came from an educational background. I finished my PhD, and I saw the process, how it does work to help then and we try and educate our coaches as much as possible to develop the players. The better coaches we have, the more knowledge about the game, the more understanding of the process, of the analysis, of every situation of the game, that will help us to create better players. And that is understanding the characteristics of every age group and what they do in every age group. The training drives everything, it drives the culture. What you do on the weekend is a reflection of the game. So what you do on the training pitch. Like if you go and you watch the training and the training is intensity, it is a quality, and the people, they believe in what they do, they do the right things, you go on to the weekend and you win games. And it's just a process. It's simple. If you don't prepare for your homework, you're not going to make it. So we're going to take care of that side, and we're going to be on the field every day to make sure the organization and the delivery is at its best. These are our values. We work with honesty. The leadership starts from the top. So we go to the players. We want the players also to lead. We're passionate about the game, and I think we create that environment when everybody is passionate about the game. So how we believe in it, how we do it together, and resilience, and we deal with each other with respect. So that's our goal. I'm going to leave this one to Lucky, so to talk about the football department. Thank you.
Thanks, Reda. Like Gianni and Reda said, I'd like to welcome everyone to 2025 in what will be an amazing year for East. It's a pleasure to be announced as a general manager. But from a football department perspective, I think it's very key to create system structures and processes to support our teams to then ensure that everyone is successful across the club. As you can see with our football or club structure, we have the ESFC board, who then I report to with regards to day-to-day operations, bigger plans and things that we have for the club. From that, we then have a number of people who support different structures and processes in the club. So the disciplinary committee, the player welfare officers, our administration officers, and then our member protection officers. They sit alongside me in helping and making sure that the club runs nice and smoothly. Under me, we then have Reda, who will lead our football department. And under him we have two, including Reda, very experienced tacticians who will then lead our juniors. So Enrique and Georgie will then lead the head coaches and assistant coaches as well as the team managers of those age groups. So Enrique will directly report or support the under 14 to under 18 boys as well as the under 14 to under 17 girls. Georgie will look after and lead the under 10 to under 13 girls, and Reda in his dual role will support the under 9 to under 13 boys, which make up our Gold Academy rated club. Through our program, we have a number of different teams. I think it's around 21 in total. So a massive club, lots of different players that we all want to support to achieve their goals, ambitions and dreams and become better footballers and better people. So we've got our under 9s to under 18s in the boys side, as well as in our girls side, our under 10 to under 17. And this season, which I'm really looking forward to, we've implemented our under 14 FQA1 side. Training schedule, I know everyone's super keen to see this. I've just finalised it this afternoon, and that will pop up in everyone's emails as well as Team Stacker tomorrow morning. We've been fortunate enough this year to partner with Kangaroo Point Rovers. Now that is just a couple of teams in our junior academy which will support ensuring that, or support reducing the load on our field space, and it's a club that's nice and close as well. Training will be across Monday to Friday, and the time according to each specific age group is already being emailed out, but now there'll be field allocations associated with that. In our training format, we train 3 times a week with 1 match day, and just so everyone's aware, these slides will get emailed out to you as well, so no need to take photos and that kind of stuff throughout. We've also got, and I'll introduce Stu in a moment, but we're excited to partner with Acceleration Australia, where each academy team from under 9s to under 18s will receive fortnightly S&C session. And then we've also got our alternate training venue. So when those summer storms start to roll through, we've got plans in place and we'll communicate those to parents through Team Stack Up. So that will be around strength and conditioning. We can possibly go indoors and get our East Plus boys to run skilled sessions there. We've got our indoor tactical sessions, and we've also partnered with some prehab and rehab specialists so that we can use those sessions to go to a gym or recovery centres. Now I'd like to hand back over to Retta to go through our coaching department.
So we spoke about like this year about coaches. I think even from the start we had about like a selection criteria to who is East FC coach this year, what we want from East FC coach, what type of coaches we want to have at the club, and I think we have selected the right people, and we've seen it already in the post-season. We want these people to be committed to the club. We want them to be there on time. We want them to invest in the players' individual plans as well as the teamwork. They are the facilitator. Like everything is based on the coach. I believe. Like if you don't have the right people there to drive, it's not going to be looking good. So you want the people there with the highest level of education, like with the football knowledge. Then we're going to develop that during our time here at Eastern Suburbs. So they are the one they're responsible, they are the one they develop the players, they are the one they're committed, they discipline, they follow the process, they work in a multidisciplinary team. And I think we've done it. We're just looking forward to go into on the training tomorrow, and we start from there. And I think Georgie started yesterday with some of the girls teams, and I've seen how good was that. So we're going to develop that, we're going to improve that, and we're going to work with the coaches to help them for future. We want, like, the expectation is we're going to support the coaches. We have all the tools this year with the people around us here, as Lockie mentioned. Ricky and Georgie and Lockie were all together here. We created the game model that suits the club, that the club believes in, that the club wants to play this type of football. But we want from our coaches to be, they're professional, they're on time, they're planners, they have energy, they have intensity in the way they deliver things. They demand standards, and I think that's when you create the culture. If you do it on the field, it starts from the first minute you walk into the field. So that would be our processes, and we're going to follow these processes during the year, and from there we try to develop our coaches to the best. But we expect a lot from our players this year, and I think this is like sometimes you say in a way hard or tough on the players. I believe in one thing, like if you want to be here, you got to do the job that's required to do. So I respect the players, we respect the players when they come here. We wanted to deliver the best to them, and we want the same from the players on the host. So we want the players to come to us ready. We want the players to come us with the right mindset to play and to train, and they are ready to train. And we're going to help them on that. So the set of standards that we have is the little details of what they can. Equipment, for example, what do you put the bottles when you arrive, how you shake hands with the coaches, do you have your eye contact with the coach? These little things can bring the winning, the feeling about how you create a team. You know, it's people say all about tactical and put the best coaches. It's not about that. No, it's all about that little things that makes a difference. Is the standards, and I think it's not just one person that creates the standards. It's the people here and the players. If the players take the initiative, and I think that also comes from you guys, because you are there, you're driving them, you're giving them everything, so they need also to pay that off. They need to make the difference, they need to create something different. With everything, with the language, with all the stuff. So we expect a lot from our players this year, and we are sure about that. So we are sure the East boys that we selected, and they're all there, they're gonna produce something this year. We have game day processes from dress code, arriving time, dressing room preparation, the coaches and the players, from tactical board to all these little things like the set pieces. Winning and losing in football and junior football can be tricky sometimes, but I think it's a will. If you have the will on the weekend to go and do something and try to represent your club in the right way, but when you lose a game, you can accept defeat and you're going to go there and respect and shake hands with people and say, accept that. I'm going to go, I'm going to work hard. I'm coming back to training, I'm going to do the best job, because at the end of the day, we want the place to go and play first team football. And we want the place to wear that shirt, to play at Suncorp in the finals every year, and to create that pathway. So from here, we can go to the process of winning and losing as well on this day. I'll leave the communication protocols back to Lockie to speak about the platforms that we have this year.
As I said before, with any big organisation and structure, effective and efficient communication is really key to ensure our systems and structures work and they don't fall down. So this season, myself as a general manager, I'll speak directly to Redder in his football director role, and he'll then directly speak to the head coaches, assistant coaches and team managers. Those people will then disseminate information into our parents and guardians, so team managers, through our Team Stack app. So as an example, if I'm a parent and my child is unable to make it because of injury, illness, sickness, they will then report directly to the team manager and communicate via Team Stack app. The team manager will then inform the head coach of the absence, and then the head coach can then plan regarding their session so that they have the right numbers, so we get the right outcomes. So again, it's really important that we're not breaking that process and we're not having parents or guardians going directly to myself or directly to Redder, that we go back through that process to ensure that it's all aligned. And as well, we don't necessarily want parents going directly to head coaches around game time and all those kind of things. If that's the case, we can go directly to the team managers. The team managers will talk to the head coaches about that. Head coaches will disseminate the information back to the managers. If they feel a means required, we can arrange that, but we want an effective system and process throughout this season. Again, timing, honest communication from all of our staff and all of our coaches is really key in 2025. So that communication will come through our football director, or it may also get directed from Redder to Georgie or Enrique, and they'll communicate to their head coaches. Squatty and Team Stack Up are for our parents, and Lumen, which we'll introduce in a moment, is for our players and coaches. So again, we'll put our club code of conduct and policies in Team Stack Up, so that all parents can access those and are very clear on what they are. Wet weather, biggest bugbear in my coaching career. Unfortunately, we can't change it. I feel like I'm the weatherman at the moment. I'm consistently checking, never know where I'm going to get it right or not. However, we'll always strive to never cancel a session. So similar to what I spoke about before, we'll make sure that we have alternate training venues, and we'll do our best throughout the day to ensure that no training session is ever cancelled. Unfortunately, there may be some of those freak storms. The one that came through the other day came in 3 o'clock, poured down rain, and by 4 o'clock it looked like nothing had ever happened. I was inside having lunch, I walked out, Redder, what's going on? He said, mate, there was just a freak storm, we nearly lost power, X, Y, Z. So again, we'll look to communicate through Team Stack Up for our parents so that they're aware. Again, we'll try and do this by 3 o'clock. However, like I said, if there are those freak events, we'll just do our best to communicate on time as quickly as possible. Training and games are always planned unless we communicate otherwise. So I know sometimes when you see a little bit of rain coming down, you might think, oh, might be one where it's cancelled. We'll be the ones who communicate to you. So always assume that something's on unless you hear otherwise. And if you need to contact us regarding weather, again, please make sure we're talking to our team managers and we're not skipping that process and going anywhere else. Player services and support. So this season, it's been amazing that we've been able to partner with some really high performance staff to support our players across those 4 disciplinary areas. So again, technical, tactical, well-being, and then mentor as well. And physical. So this season, I'd like to introduce Nathan to come up and introduce his side of recovery science and integrated physio centre. So a round of applause for Nathan.
Yeah, hi guys, thank you Carlos. Currently also the club vice president until the AGM next week, so weather permitting, that is continued. Just a bit about me, sports physio, so I spent 10 odd years or so working in that professional sports environment. So I was across 2 AFL clubs, so I was at the Gold Coast Suns for a bit and Brisbane Lions. And then moved on to rugby, so I worked at Queensland Reds for a bit and then assisted the Wallabies when they came to town. So that's just kind of been my experience. The picture in the top left, very early days, early 2000s, actually helped out the Queensland Women's QAS program, which was quite fun. And I also did a little stint at the Raw. So my son, Lachlan, who's in the under-12s this year, little photo on the field, the last little sporting stint. Just to let you know about my team, so obviously it's me, and then Lisa's that first photo on the left. She's also a sports physio, so both me and Lisa are sports physios. And then 2 club physios, Simran in the middle, who's looking after the female program, and Hussein, who's looking after the men's program. So what we have available, and this is all in one building, so we've got a physio business and we've also got recovery science, which is a recovery business. So I've had a lot of experience with high performance teams and programs, and we're trying to apply those same principles to the East Club and provide a lot of support in that whole medical space. So on the academy players, we're going to try and do a little bit of testing. So this is the musculoskeletal space. So we'll try and do it in the pre-season, we'll do it during the season and the post-season. We're also, throughout the season, going to be monitoring the players, so in particular measuring some of those measurements for when your kids will be going through growth phases. Obviously, when a player's going through growth phases, that's probably more likely when injuries can occur, so we're going to monitor players through there and make some suggestions and recommendations during those times so that we hopefully avoid any mishaps and injuries. We'll also be providing triage services for the players, so essentially from 4:30 on Mondays and Tuesdays, we'll have availability of a staff member there to offer any advice, maybe little bits of treatment in that time for any injury concerns and advice. Obviously you can use our services if you want as far as physios go, but if you have your own physios, that's fine. We've got to work with them and communicate with them to make sure that when the time comes, if we're returning players back to sports, done safely and properly. Just as part of my commitment to the club, so we're offering discounted physio services for those that need it if they're injured. For the club physios, for Simran and Hussein. So we've offered them at just a rate of 70, less your health fund, so hopefully that is helpful for those that require those services. As I kind of mentioned before, we want to have a fairly robust return to play protocol. If communication is not done poorly, players arrive to training and not sure what's happening, and then obviously that creates confusion for the coach as well. So we're going to have a bit of a system that will again communicate that to all the coaches, team managers and players around some expectations that are required for return to play. So I won't bore you with the details of that too much at the moment, but just know that we're doing our very best to make sure that that whole medical side and return to play is done safely. So on the recovery side, so we've obviously got recovery services where we are. There's a photo there, we've got a little rehab gym, so the teams might be using that facility for rained and missed sessions, so we've got a facility that's capable of doing that. We also have ice baths, saunas, the compression boots, red light therapy, massage guns, so we have all those recovery services that you probably expect in professional sports teams we have available for the club. All teams will receive periodic physio services, so not physio, recovery services, sorry, so they get a little bit of exposure and can see and feel the importance of using recovery services as part of their weekly routine, okay? We're also going to extend that to parents as well. For those who don't know, recovery services, particularly sauna and ice baths, are actually very good for your general health. So we're going to extend those discounted rates through to parents as well. So if you ever come and want to book in, just let them know you're part of the East family and you'll get discounted rates for that as well. And this is new. That's you. Introduce you.
Thanks, Nathan. Another exciting partnership that we've formed is with Stuart and Acceleration Australia. So I'll now like to hand over to him to explain what he'll bring to East in 2025 and how that will support each player across the academy.
Thanks, Lucky. Yeah, I only prepared a few slides, so I'm going to just talk those through. Acceleration Australia is in its 25th year of operation. We started in the year 2000, and background-wise, I'm a country Queenslander. Went to Rocky Grammar for school, went to Southern Cross University in Lismore for uni, and then went to the US and did my masters over there at Bowling Green State University. And when I was at the BG, actually, our college football program was amazing, soccer, as the Americans would say, and that really instigated my interest. But when I went to Drake University as the head strength coach in 1998, we started to bring in the football players weren't lifting weights particularly well, the American style, you know. So I decided to start doing speed training before the strength training, and it really engaged the football players a lot more. And it made substantial results to the stage where the team progressed extensively, but I got a lot better buy-in. I came back to Australia in the year 2000 and started Acceleration Australia, and at one stage there, I think we were based at a basketball stadium, but we have about 50% of our clients were football players, because football is very much about speed. Obviously, skill is very important, but the part that we're bringing to the table is speed. So I want to have that really clearly in your mind when you come in to do a session with acceleration, when the coaches rotate your group into our session. Our sessions will go for around about 20 minutes. Our number one priority is speed and running technique. And the reason being is that we really want to improve that initial acceleration. So those that tested yesterday, you would have noticed that we did the pro agility test. Which is the agility, which is the second part, but we also did a 20-metre sprint, and we want to really enhance those times because you'll really see a difference in your game. Put in there, obviously, substantially better skills, but then you throw in some extra pace, particularly first at quickness, and you'll be able to tell the difference. In terms of running technique, we also want to improve that. One of the biggest things I like to tell people is I was born in the 70s and grew up in the 80s, so VHS, so I just remember getting my parents rented they bought a VHS recorder and they rented the movie Gallipoli. And in the movie Gallipoli is a very old World War I movie, and the initial scenes are about a track sprinter. And the old man he's the track coach. He goes, "Your legs are like steel springs. They're steel springs. They're going to hurl you across the track." And I want you to remember that because steel springs are really important, and we will do that all the time. Ankle stiffness is super important, where we're learning how to bounce, and you want to look like you're athletic. Whenever you see great athletes turn up to sessions, you're like, wow, there's something about them. They just sort of bound along. Well, we want our athletes to be stiff through the ankles. So ankle stiffness, running technique. The agility test, the reason why we do that one is it's sort of like a dynamic flexibility test as well, where you're changing direction, touching the floor, and then running again. And the reason for that is you need to have good flexibility to also become a great athlete, so you stay injury free, less likely to become injured, but also so you're more dynamic. So you move like a cat. You don't want to move, I talk about ankle stiffness, I don't want your entire body to be stiff, yeah? And a lot of football players, particularly when you're going through peak height velocity, when you're growing a lot, you become quite tight. So we want our athletes to be fast, and we want them to be flexible, yeah? So that's why agility is a really important factor. The third one, not so important to me, because I feel like the first two, if we get the first two right, the third one becomes just natural. As in, we're going to improve your running endurance, because if you imagine we improve the efficiency of 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, if we improve your efficiency over the first 20 meters, you're going to apply that into the game where every step that you take is more efficient, so therefore your endurance will just naturally improve without actually doing endurance training. So I expect that to improve as well. We only cover in our 20-minute sessions, if you look up at the slides there, we're not going to really cover flexibility and deep system too much, and we'll integrate with Nathan on that in terms of trying to help you with bookend training. Like I saw Reda said, you know, we expected to be there 15 minutes before, and I can tell you, working with college and professional athletes and high-level juniors, you know, if you turn up early, you know, what are you going to do with that time? That's where bookend training to me is really helpful, like flexibility work. It might be touches as well, but in terms of that's some things that you can get covered. But we definitely will cover dynamic warm-up, which definitely helps with running speed and it prepares your body mentally and physically for training, and then we will cover movement training. The other stuff there is things that we cover at our training centres, so power, steering system, strength system, and then recovery. I obviously touch on recovery. So they're things that we do at Acceleration. At Acceleration, when I first went to America, I wanted to actually learn from the Americans about how they train athletes. I wanted to study there, I wanted to learn from them, so I could come back to Australia and work with athletes at all levels. So when I was flying on the plane from LA back to Brisbane, this is what I had envisioned in my mind, is I wanted to work with the pyramid. I didn't want to work for the QAS, I didn't want to work for any particular organisation. I wanted to work with athletes that are in primary school, through to club programs like this, individual athletes at our centres, and then hopefully get to work with Olympic athletes and Olympians and professional teams, which we've been able to do all those. I wanted you to understand where that fits in, and that this is part of my vision. This is why I came back to Australia. This is what I want to do. This is why our coaches get up at before 5 o'clock every morning and stay at work until whatever hour it's done, is to work with athletes through this pyramid. And you guys are a part of that journey, and I really appreciate your time. And I appreciate you in advance for your efforts that you put in during those 20 minutes. And the thing that we can give back to you is really good results, and hopefully you'll enjoy football even more. Thanks, guys.
So we have Lumen this year. So Lumen, as Nathan spoke about, is a lot about the wellness and injury status for the players and information. This is compulsory for the players this year. We included also the under 13s age group. We understand with the age, it might be a bit difficult to get under 13 to be on the phones, but this is very important to have that app installed. We're going to check every day as part of the requirement. We want the players to check in. We want the players to report. We want the players, when they go to Nathan, Hussein, or Lisa, they check and they put the reports in there, so the coaches will know who's available, who's not available. Besides, we have that on the team soccer. But that's a different availability. That's availability to train. We know even if you're injured, you're going to come to training. That's one of the conditions. But here, it's, are you training? Are you part of the training session or not? So this is compulsory. This is going to be also including a post-match questionnaire. This process is going to be followed this year as well, and every game we're going to check. There are like questionnaires related to our game model, what things we do in the game, like type of things like we're cleaning stuff. We also have the ability that coaches can share some technical sessions or some set pieces or some videos from the game, from video, whatever we have. So this is very, very, very important, and we want the players all. Failing to do that, I think it might limit the game time on the weekend. So we want these guys to actually have that on board from now. So that's we expect everybody to register everything. The player retention, this is a long process from Football Queensland. I think it's part of the development plan for the players. Is we have the goal settings that we're going to start implementing from next month, or what the players want to do in the next year or the 2 years. Then also we're going to go in the short term. Then we're going to have the mid-season report, and that was going to give the players a little bit of what they've done in the previous 4 or 5 months since the pre-season. Then after that, we're going to have the last reports meeting with the players and parents, which we inform the player about what's next. They are part of the club, or they need to trial, or they're already retained, and that's is going to be our club. We want, from the top to the guys here, we want to keep the players. We want the players to stay at the club, and we want to help the players to get the club. We want to create like players with it, like we have now academy one. We have the, I wouldn't call it the academy two because we're going to treat them the same. Also, we have the redevelopment teams. We call them the kangaroo teams. I think that is going to be a pathway for us. We want to bring players from the club, from within the club. I want to go to see that what they do there is exactly what they do up there. And what they do in the first team, in the 23s, what they do in the 16 is a similar processes. And you go down way to the under 6 and 7. So this is going to be, hopefully, we're going to have the best results for 2026. I'll leave this one to Lockie to play welfare.
So this season, our player welfare officer sitting down in front, I won't get you up here, Cass, but is Cassandra Zafina. So for those who don't know, Cass has played at the highest level, for women's in the W League. This is her play for Canberra United, but has a wealth of knowledge in football and currently works in that mental health space. So a fantastic person for our players to go and speak to should they need to seek support throughout their footballing journey. Again, it can be non-football related things as well. So it doesn't always have to just be solely football, but we understand, young people as they grow up have a range of different stresses potentially in their lives with school and trying to balance football and their performance. So Cassie's that extra layer of support. Again, I'll email these things, but Cass has been really fortunate to provide her email and then phone number as well. So if you need to see her, she will be down at training. She's our under-17s head coach for our female program. But if you need to contact her directly, then that's fine. The second layer of support is our sports psychology team. So again, we're very excited to partner with Rachel Jones, who's the director of Lift High Performance, but she also works in the Queensland Academy of Sports space. So she's a clinical psychologist. So she leads a team of psychologists who then lead QAS teams. So she'll work with Kate to, I suppose, upskill both parents and players throughout the season in terms of how they can perform at their peak throughout the season. Again, sports psychology, I'll let you guys read this just really quickly, but essentially this is the purpose of why we engage with sports psychologists. So again, throughout 2025, I look forward to seeing all of our players in the room reach their potential. Again, further support, so like I spoke about before, we'll have our sports psychologists, workshops and presentations. We've got digital tracking of player well-being, loading activities and injuries. Again, we understand that most of our players play school sport as well, so especially when that kicks in around term 2, term 3, loading's super important for us to manage players' loading, to ensure that they're safe and they can perform at their peak on the weekends. Again, we've also got numerous MOUs with schools around the area, including Churchy. Again, we work with those directors of football to make sure that we understand their training schedules, how many times they're training throughout the week, and we balance that loading again so that our players are reaching their potentials. We've got player feedback loops and questionnaires through video analysis, which Reda spoke about before. And again, similar to what Nathan spoke about, those maturation measurements and muscle screenings. So that's that evidence-based approach through our industry experts. Our resources, again, will be available to all parents to ensure that they're all over and we're nice and transparent with our processes. So we'll have our player report meetings, we'll have our online team sessions, football director workshops and professional workshop presentations will be there as well, and that will be in our key documents on the TeamStack app. Again, there may be, through those document sections, we'll also have our youth development plan, our FQA presentation tonight, any game model principles, strength and conditioning programs and research articles to support parents through that process. Again, part of our long-term development plan from our perspective as a club is we want to create talent that goes on to succeed elsewhere. So it's not just about East, but it should be about what's best for our nation. So I would love to see someone currently sitting in the audience playing for the Matildas or playing for the Socceroos in maybe 10, 15 years' time. That would be fantastic for me. So again, we set up our system structures, teams and our processes to support that. So we've got our mini-roos, our kangaroos, our FQA 1 and 2 squads, who should then be throughout that process coming through our senior men's and senior women's. From there and throughout that process, as players get into our FQA 1, FQ2 squads, they then have opportunities to represent our state on the national stage, which is fantastic. We then have players who from those Queensland teams may go on to represent A-League teams. We had that come and try there with Ella O'Grady, again in East Junior, who, you know, we don't really want to play him for Melbourne Victory, maybe Brisbane Roar, but it's fantastic to see her at that A-League level. Again, from that level, we want to see them representing in national teams as well, whether it's the under-17s or whether it's the 20, 23s or the senior team. That's why we do what we do. As a club, we want to develop the best talent to go on and be successful in their careers. From our coach education and support, we have a number of different ways in which we support our coaching staff. So again, each coach that's sitting in a front row has gone through an induction. So through that induction, coaches are welcome. We provide them with their position description so they're very clear on that. We've got a contract. We go through the human resources and our club policies. They meet and greet the relevant people. So in that meetings, myself, Retta and Enrique as the head of Youth Academy, as well as anyone else, so Georgie as well. We then provide each coach with an outline of our club coaching and training methodology so that they're very clear and aligned on what we're trying to create at East, and then they get access to our club curriculum and game model documents. They're then provided with a background on their team and players, and then briefed on their expectations for the season ahead, including maybe some video analysis, processes, post-match feedback, and reporting methods. So again, through this process, we like to support our coaches to support our players. So I'm a firm believer if we support our coaches in the best way possible, they'll then be able to support our players, again, going back to that goal of reaching their potential. So we make sure that they're provided with self-appraisals, we have development plans for each and every coach. We've got on-the-job observation, feedback processes to support them, ongoing check-ins and action plans, as well as technical group meetings. So again, creating an action plan of how they want to develop themselves to support their players, and we also support them with formal coach education diplomas. So I think that bit in orange sums it up really, really well. So in coaching the coaches, we develop our own, create loyalty and develop succession plans to cater, whilst we also look at developing our players. Back to Retta and Enrique on our coaching methodology.
So before that, I just explain how it does work when you create a game model or you try to implement something new. So everybody, every coach, somebody in sport, they build their ideas. Like when they start coaching, when they start playing. So it depends on the type of the person as well. It depends on the culture of the club. It depends on the people that work at the club. So it's everything is linked together. The values that you see on the field and the way you play, they all link together. If the person of the club wants to be ambitious to play forward and to go forward and to improve, you're going to see that also on the field. The first thing I think about the player is you don't want the player to go into an environment when there is no structure. I think all of you now would agree with me, that you will never send your kid to school when there's no structure. You will take them out. You get them to private schools. Because that's That's right, because you want them to learn the basics from the start and then a gradual basis, and there you go. You would never get somebody to say, as soon as they enter school, this is your book and you're going to go and learn by yourself. You can't. You need guidance, and that guidance comes by processes. So you build it like you build a house, and I think you might have seen this before. Arsene Wenger said you have to go to build the player from the technical base, then you make the skill under pressure, then from there you're going to build on the tactical components of the game, then you're going to make a player ready to go to play into your club or to play for the country. So we believe in a type of player at East that what we want to see when they play in the first team football, when they wear East shirt to go into the National Premier League, we want them to go and have that type of play that we create holistically based on the four corners of the game model. Technical for me is the most important thing. If I'm going to under 9 and they don't know how to control the ball and how they pass the ball with the right way, with the accuracy, for me they're not doing the right thing. Because they cannot make decisions, they cannot make the right basics of controlling the ball and finding space or finding the next option. So you start with the base in an isolated environment, then you take them again into environment where there is pressure. So they experience that game model, what they've learned. But that goes through processes. Then again, beside that, you have the technical component. I'm not going to under 9, I'm going to say you're going to play 4-3-3, I'm going to have width, 3, you go between the lines here. No, you don't do that. But they are basic, they're structured. I might teach them, okay, we have 2 at the back there and 3 here, and you're going to go and play. But when I'm going to under 18 or first team, no, it's going to be different. It's about strategy, it's about model, it's about winning games, it's about fight, it's about resilience, it's all about aggression. You know, that's a different story. But when you go through that, that's the type of player you're going to develop over the years. You have. Then you go again to physical. You want the place to be ready. That's why Nathan or what Stuart said about the biomechanics of the players. I came from biomechanics background. It's important. They know how they run, they know how they accelerate, they know how they take off, they know how to decelerate. So that's always going to go to the components of the session and what they do on the field. We believe, personally, I believe without education you can't achieve anything. So you educate here, you educate the players on the field, and they go to the game. And the game is an experience of what they've learned during the week. And that experience might fail, but you're going to try again to go and get better. And once you get better and you follow the process and you believe in what you do, you're going to achieve the end results. Is you develop the player that you want to play at least. The football, I think when you write a game model or you write a philosophy, it's who you are and who the people that work with you. So I think I'm lucky as a football director to have these people who they share the same belief and the values of how we want to play as a club. So if you go towards the first team or you watch any East team, this year we want to see that. We want to be ruthless on counter-attack, we want to be high-pressing team, most aggressive team. They go to win the ball, they run a lot. When they don't have the ball, they go and sprint. They're going to bring the ball back. So how are we going to develop that from under 9 to the first team? Then when we have the ball, we're going to be positive, we're going to be brave, we play forward, we attack spaces, we make runs. So again, it's a runs. So that's again comes to discipline, attitude of the player. How much they're going to give you today, how much they're going to run today. Without the ball. And with the ball, what you do, how we make decisions based on the scenarios, we're going to help them in the process. So we want to enjoy the football and we want to take the ball to the opposition. We want to play progressive football, that it's going forward. We attack, we go, and let's attack and let's enjoy it. That's what we're going to ask the players. And when we don't have it, we go all together. It's all together. And that's when we spoke about the values of each, it's all together. We have stages of development. I'm going to let the best Enrique to speak about this.
Thank you. As Reda just mentioned before, in order to support our methodology, so we need to create a system and process. All right. So, in the system and process create alongside all of us here together and George was this. So we've got 5 stages of learning, and that embodies technical, tactical, physical, and mental. Right? So obviously, in young age groups, we're going to start slowly and progressively. So we're not going to focus so much in some of the stuff over there. So obviously, in stage 1, which is the young age groups, that's mainly what we're going to focus on ball mastery, basic motor skills and motivation. As you go higher and higher and higher, we expect more and more from the players. What does that mean? That means that obviously in the under 7s, we want to create players in love for the game. Alright, so we're not going to go full on the younger players in order for them to dislike football and get to the under 10s and under 12s and quit the game. Obviously, we are here a football club, and as everyone already mentioned, we want players here to start in under 7s and finish with us in the seniors. In order to do that, that's the system and process create. And everybody here have to understand that you might want your kid to do something, but that's not the time as yet to do it. All right. So come from a professional football. I never played professional when I was 7 years old. All right. So I played professional when I was 16, 17, 18 onwards. So that is time. That is the process that all players will go through. In under 6s and 7s, build a love for the game. Under 10s and under 12s, start to get some knowledge of tactical and technical stuff. 13s, 14s, 15s, 16, then you get your full tactical knowledge. And then under 18s, then you get your full game knowledge. You need to be ready to play the competition. You need to be ready, as we mentioned here, as a professional club, as the best program in Queensland so far that I've seen, to win games. And as a professional player, that's what we're here for. Teaching our kids all this process and knowledge of the game. So when you see your kids sometimes doing some sort of catching games or this sort of stuff in under 7, that's normal. Because we're using some motor skills of running, tagging, and that sort of stuff in order to help them run with the ball better. When you see your kids doing rondo and stuff like that in under 12s or stuff like that, that's we practice some passing skill and thinking as well. So that's all methodology that we use in order to involve everyone. Don't ever think that we're not putting any thoughts and process around those sessions. That's why we mentioned here, when your kids come to the training, we know what we're doing. So that's a system and process behind. And if you ever have any questions, please ask your manager first to have a meeting with the coaches, and we're going to sort your question out. Does that make sense for everyone? Yeah, good. So this is how we start under 6 to under 7. So then we go progressively, as you can see there, under 8 to under 10. That's more technical development base. And then you go through to under 11 to under 13, is skill development under pressure, and then 14 to 18, tactical development group. So I will highly say that obviously being under 18s, that's all higher academy level. That's our first progression to the senior football. That's when you're going to see the full game model, full game model. Below that, let's put less expectation and less pressure to let the kids develop themselves, to let the kids put the full potential out there. And how we do that? Try and error. Try in the training sessions, make errors in the game. Go again during the week, try again, practice, try again. That's the only way we're going to create a professional football. A professional player that's going to play for the first team here and then go onwards. A-League, national teams, overseas. But if we keep putting pressure in the under 10s, under 12s early on, they're going to get shy, they're going to quit, they're going to get to 15, 16, yeah, that's not for me anymore. So that's a way, system and process. And I highly recommend everyone here to believe in the system and the process. Because, as I said, I've never seen a technical team like this, and the coaches that are down here are more qualified. So that's one of the best groups I ever work with. Be mindful of that. I've been 5 years TD in another club. I work with so many coaches elsewhere, experience a lot of things, and I can tell you right now. So this is the best technical team you ever going to see. and hungry. Thank you.
This year, but there's nothing better than playing games. That's why we play football at the end of the day. Again, we'll send out the list of the key dates with regards to representative carnivals, so Winterfest, all those kind of things, so everyone's aware of those. And again, those catch-up games are scheduled during holidays. Match day setup. So again, this year we'll have sunscreen, lots of sunscreen. Myself, I use about 1 litre a day at the moment if it's really sunny. 50 plus gazebos will be set out on the field. So we want to ensure that our players are safe whilst they're out there, and if they're off the field, they're not sitting under that hot sun. Hydration, again, we've got our bubblers up and running, so there'll be water, and there's sports drinks available at the best bar in Queensland at Juniors Bar, so players can rehydrate by purchasing them at the bar. And again, we've got our physio services, so there'll be a physio or sports trainer available on each match day. So if players need strapping, triage, if they come off injured and they want to see someone, they can go there straight away so that they're straight onto their injury and looking to recover as quickly as possible. Again, I don't need to tell you guys, but parents play a vital role in ensuring their child's success. So myself, I have a background in education. I was at Marsden State High School down in Logan for 10 years, worked at various positions in terms of teacher, heads of department, but I know the key role that each and every single one of you in the building play tonight in terms of your child's success. So again, just some gentle reminders, but we'll start off with probably the negatives in terms of the don'ts. We don't want to see parents yelling out, shouting instructions to their child. That's why we hire these guys in front of you in terms of our staff. We don't need anyone promoting gossip or talking poorly. We need people building trust with each other and talking about each other like someone was in the room. We don't want you undermining our coaches or expect, similar to Enrique said, their players to be or have that instant development. Development takes time and learning is a process. We also don't want people to judge players, provide encouragement, of course. And we definitely don't want them to take the fun out of football, because at the end of the day, we want to play football because we enjoy it, and winning's an extra bonus from that. The do's, 100% transport on time. If you're not on time, we understand. There was a massive crash on the M1 the other day. It's just about communication. So again, communicating to our team managers so that they can let the head coaches know if there's any absences. Again, supporting with monitoring recovery and diet, so fueling and hydrating our young players to support them to be their best on the field. Motivation, encouragement, really get around those positive moments, support the coaches and enjoy the competition. Again, football, we love it because there's those super highs, there's those big lows, but we get out on the other side. Again, with diversity and inclusion, we love supporting this. Again, everyone has an opportunity to play the world game and we love that. So we value the differences of everyone in our club and that each individual brings to a team environment. If everyone was the same, football would be really boring. Life would just be really boring. All gender, ethnicity, age, ability, sexual orientation, religious beliefs and characteristics are welcomed at East. Again, I didn't leave Marsden to come here because it was a poor environment. I left Marsden to come here because I wanted to see the change, and like everyone standing or sitting in front of me, it's fantastic to see that you're all on board with that. Again, as a club, we stand against harassment, bullying and discrimination, and we do not accept any form of racism due to ethnicity, colour or national background. Our final piece of the puzzle this evening is we are relaunching East Plus. So I'd love to introduce Matt and Josh to the stage to speak about East Plus in 2025.
Alrighty, hello everyone. Lovely to see so many faces here today. I'm Matt, this is Josh. Quick introduction. I know there's been a lot of information up there, and for us, we just want a quick introduction to East Plus. Obviously, if you've been at the club a while now, we've done East Plus previously. We just want to reintroduce that in line with the vision of the whole club and the philosophy of football that all the people behind us have explained greatly. So like Enrique, both me and Josh had a background in professional football, playing in the A-League. I've played all levels of national football as well, from under 17 all the way up to the national team for New Zealand. Our main aim is through individual player development, and any ambitious footballers, anyone with the right drive, the right attitude, like they've talked about, good habits, good training habits, we want the chance for them to excel and have that opportunity at East to get the extra training in, and hopefully from our experiences we can pass on a little bit of knowledge in that area. So we've had a good start so far over Christmas, before and after. We've had a great turnout so far. Introducing East Plus, we'll have an official sort of social media launch of East Plus program. We also want to have a strong connection with the first team. Both Josh and I will be playing for the first team this year, and hopefully that will result with Reda leading us a strong team in the men's department, and then with that connection all the way down from the little under 6s all the way up to the 23s. Anyone that wishes to get the extra training in, we want to hopefully provide that for them, both on the male and female side. So we'll be the head coaches of that. Hopefully some female first team players can get on board as well as male first team and under 23 players, and all the stuff behind it. So yeah, really excited. It's a lot of stuff changing at this club, and something that we've really bought into the vision from Johnny all the way down to everything we've seen today. So it's very impressive from what we've seen. Our experiences in the NPL and in the A-League is, I think first and foremost, having the right attitude, the right environment, the right structure is what we love to see as well. So yeah, a little introduction, and hopefully see you guys all around.
So that concludes this evening. This year, what we're going to do is we've just put a QR code up, so parents can take a picture of that QR code, and if you've got any questions specific to your age group or that you've thought of throughout the presentation this evening, you can throw them into a Microsoft Forms, press submit. Myself, Reda, Enrique will sit down across the next couple of days. We'll then collate all that information, we'll answer those questions, and then we'll post that back out through Team StackUp. So again, this presentation will be put into PDF, put out through Team StackUp. So again, you will be able to access that. Just in conclusion, 2025 is going to be a massive, massive year. If some people have seen the renovation that is currently going down at East, it looks like a completely different club. It is fantastic, and I can't wait for each of you to see that and what we're building here. But I really look forward to working with each and every single one of you as well throughout 2025 to have a super successful season both on and off the field. The final one for me is we do have, like Gianni said, the grip socks available to purchase this evening. So if anyone would like to do that on your way out, please do so. Have a safe trip home, and thank you